Hey everyone, it's Spoiler, and we're back for the spoiler review of Spider-Man No Way Home. I have watched the movie a second time now, and I will say that my opinion is a little bit changed. It has, and I think it's mostly responsible of the fact that in my first viewing, the hype was high, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I kind of removed some of the flaws of the movie. But it's not gonna negate the fact that I still absolutely love the movie theater experience for Spider-Man No Way Home. Nothing will remove that. Okay, even my second viewing, it had like so many like people in sync and stuff for stuff that was happening, and I think that's a huge plus. Okay, so I think one of the things that really drops is the story writing. You're like, okay, it's very convenient. Now, like I said, this is a spoiler review. Do not watch this if you have not seen the movie and you want to go in blind. I truly believe that this is a movie theater experience, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan. Okay, get out the video if you have not seen the movie, please. Please, I'm not responsible if you get spoiled now. Okay, don't look at the comments either, because this is a spoiler review, or talk, should I say. Okay, so like I was saying, I think in the story department, it's very convenient how a lot of the stuff is actually, serving fan service. Because Doctor Strange does say that there are thousands of Peter Parker, right? I'm pretty sure he says there are like 100 or something. And it's pretty convenient that we get Toby and Andrew, right? Like Andrew and then Toby. It's like, okay, it's that fan service stuff that we're all gonna accept because it's them. But it's very convenient. Same for the villain. It's like how they don't actually really explain what happens to the villains when they come. It's like they're taken right before they die. But how does that work? Because I would think that maybe if you get like, sure, you get like the Green Goblin right before he dies, but then wouldn't you also get the Toby right before he dies? Because like their lives has continued. It's pretty weird. And I think with this story, I think if you're trying to nitpick and find flaws in the story writing, especially, you're gonna find them. That's why I'm saying this is like a movie theater experience. You get experience with people that love the movie and that just look at Spider-Man as their like favorite superhero, or a superhero that they really enjoy. I think if you look at it that way, you're absolutely gonna love it. That's why I absolutely love this movie, at least as of right now. I do. Who knows in the future if people are gonna change about that or not. But yeah, when the hype goes down, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, absolutely love the movie, even after my second viewing. But when you try to turn on your eyes about like the okay, because you already know what's gonna happen the second time, so you're like okay. And now that I think about it, it's kind of weird. You have that type of reflection. But now that I can talk about spoiler things, this isn't really a spoiler review. It's a spoiler review / spoiler talk. I think I should have said that in the beginning. But yeah, we have the reintroduction of Matt Murdock. So I'm interested to see if it's like a continuation, obviously the Netflix Marvel series, or if it's like a soft reboot of the character while keeping the same actor. Also, spoiler alert for Hawkeye, for the Hawkeye series. Just fast forward like 30 seconds. I'm gonna let you a little time for you. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Episode 5, we have the reintroduction of the Kingpin. So, same actor, so it's very interesting to see if they're gonna keep like the same characters, like the same backstory or whatever, and maybe like do a time jump or something. Or like are they soft rebooting? Obviously, they're still those characters, but with a different backstory. Or maybe could we see another Daredevil series? It's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, hopefully you guys came back for people that fast forward. But yeah, it's talking about the movie, the humor. I didn't talk about the humor actually. The humor, I think it's 75%. 75% of them actually hit. And I guess the 25% didn't really hit that much. So it's still fairly decent. I think it's probably got some of the best humor from the Spider-Man MCU movies, that's for sure. Because it's easy. You combine obviously Toby, Andrew, and Tom. You're like, okay, you should have some good humor in this. I mean, you have three Peter Parkers, right? Talking about Peter Parker, like I was saying in the beginning, it's very convenient. We got Andrew and Toby, and not even another Spider-Man. I think it would have been better in terms of story writing if we would have seen maybe another Spider-Man, right? Because we have other Peter Parkers as well. Pop in, and he's like, okay, maybe like he doesn't have his mask, and maybe like in the first time, right? Because I think it would have been smarter if, like, the first time that Ned does like the portal thing, he sees a Peter Parker, but that doesn't look like Peter Parker at all. So he immediately like tries to close it, and then the second time when you have Andrew coming up, he's wearing the Spider-Man costume, so they're like, yeah, it has to be Peter, right? So I think it would have been way better if they would have done something like that, because it's pretty closed up, right? It's like, okay, we only get like from the Sam Raimi and the Mark Webb universe. So you're like, okay, it's very convenient. But also, if you did that, you couldn't, do the whole thing where Ned messes up the portal at the end. But I'm sure you could have fit something like that. So I'm also wondering, I'm guessing that that's what it was, with the people like coming in, in the portals. I think that was probably what it was, like everyone that knew. And so obviously some people slipped in, but I think it would have still been interesting as a story element, to have something like that. I think one of the things that I would have liked to see more is the thing with Ben, Uncle Ben, because obviously you have the thing where like Andrew and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they're like, yeah, Uncle Ben, he said something like that when he died and stuff. And here, we basically learned that he died. I think he said in Civil War, right? And we don't really know much of Uncle Ben. I get it, it's not something necessary, but I still would have liked, maybe him, talk about Uncle Ben in that moment. And sure, obviously, Aunt May died, but, to say, oh, I remember when Uncle Ben said that to me with Aunt May, you could have done something like that. It's very interesting. But yeah, what else? Obviously I couldn't really go into depth, but, Sandman, and Sandman and Lizard. Lizard was literally like a fillerish, super fillerish. He was like there to be there because they were like, okay, let's pick like some characters to put in, right? It was basically what it was. It was like, yeah, okay, Lizard was the first villain in Amazing Spider-Man 1, and then like obviously Electro 2. So they basically took like the main villains of the movies. Okay, not the main because there was Venom and stuff, but like Sandman, they pick one villains in each movie, basically, right? So it's like, okay, well, they really didn't know what to do with Lizard, so they just put it in there, and it's very convenient. It's like, oh, well, Lizard wanted to stay in the truck, right? It's like, okay, so you don't have to write dialogues with him, because you really don't have anything to say with him. But obviously, they're needed for that big spectacular at the end. Watching the cinematography, I think, I wasn't watching with a blind eye. Now I haven't watched it a second time. I think I would have liked maybe a different director for the fight choreography. Because I still enjoy them a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I still think they're cool. But I feel like for the finale of this size, especially with the characters that we've had, maybe we could have had like some better combos, some better like different elements, thing is, it's a little gripe that I have. I'm sure a lot of people will not agree with this, but I feel like maybe, because obviously we're gonna have another trilogy with Tom Holland Spider-Man. I feel like maybe if they change director, at least for the cinematography and stuff, I think it's gonna be better. I think they should probably do that. But I mean, seeing the success of No Way Home, I don't think they're gonna do that. So it's gonna be interesting to see the decision they're gonna take with it. Now watching a second time, and it really does have a lot of fan service, right? Which honestly I don't mind with a movie like this. But yeah. What else? I think I would have liked hearing more about what was going on their lives, because they talk about it just a little bit. It's like, oh, with MJ, with Toby, he's like, with MJ, Still working it out, but it's working right now and stuff. I think I would have loved, like hearing, oh, MJ's gonna have a kid soon, or we're trying to have a kid soon. Something that we don't really know about what's going on with them. I think that would have been cool. Same thing with Andrew. He basically, I don't really have time for Peter Parker. I'm just doing some Spider-Man stuff, which works. But I think I would have liked maybe something else, in terms of like, oh, what's going on with their story. Because I don't think we're gonna see them, anytime soon. That's the thing. So you're like, I don't know what's going on with them, in their universes. It would have been cool to have like a little idea. And it would have actually tied in, with the person that said, oh, like to like MJ, like, oh, you're gonna make it like Spidey baby or some stuff. It would have been cool if like Toby, he's like, yeah, we're expecting a baby soon, or something like that. I think that would have been cool. But it's like I said, this is like a small gripe, that I have with the movie, but I really enjoyed it, man. I think, especially at that first screening of the day, 10 a.m. Like people that wanted to watch the movie, they just wanted to watch the movie because they loved Spider-Man, and we had like that sort of ambiance and aura with us, and it was just great, and I wouldn't change anything for that. But I think this is a movie because obviously right now everyone is saying like, oh, this is the best, Spider-Man movie, and some people saying, oh, this is the best comic book movie and stuff. It's gonna be interesting to see if once the hype dies down, if people are gonna say, never mind, I think I still like Spider-Man 2 more, stuff like that. It's gonna be very interesting. But what I really like also about this movie is that it's putting a lot of love to Andrew's Spider-Man. Obviously, he's the least liked out of the three, because I think there's multiple Pauls that have been done, and like you have Toby, then Tom, then Andrew. So I really like it, the fact that they were putting a lot of love into Andrew's Spider-Man. I really like that, and Peter Parker, just Andrew's character. What else is there to talk about? I think the spell is very convenient too, because it's like, what was it? I can't remember the formulation exactly, but it's also very convenient. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I keep saying that it's very convenient. Hey, when you watch a movie, it's like that. Anyway, just in general, when you watch an MCU movie, you're not like, oh, I'm going in there for the writing, right? You're going in there for the experience. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand is when you're watching like those type of movies, because they're basically for the big audience, right? For us, it's like, oh, you're watching a movie to enjoy and have fun. So that's why I'm like, with movies like these, I'm not like, I can't really be hard because it's not really what they're trying to do, So yeah, like I said, I absolutely loved my time in theater with this movie. I truly did. I cried at the same moments that I cried in the first viewing. Happened exactly the same time in the second viewing. Matter of fact, actually happened a lot faster because I knew that it was coming, and so when it happened, people reacted that way, and I was already reacting that way, right? But yeah, because obviously most people were just watching for the first time in my second viewing. Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff. Also, Electro, we didn't really get an explanation on why he looked different. He just appeared and looked different, we didn't really get an explanation with that. Can I wish, but I guess we'll just roll with it. And also for like the electric, like the yellow thing, I'm guessing it's what he was saying, like the energy is different here. I'm guessing that's like the end canon explanation. Also like the Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange fight, I get like, when he got into his astral projection, I get it's like his spider sense that was doing like his moving and stuff, but I'm still like, yo, Peter did really beat Doctor Strange in a way, it's like, damn, I don't know how I feel about that. I like it as well, but I'm like, I don't know if I like it really, because like, Peter, you just literally closed up like Doctor Strange. Imagine if he couldn't get out. He basically couldn't get out until he was doing the portals. It's like, damn, what if you couldn't open it? It's like, yo, you don't know what's going on inside. Sure, there's Wong and stuff after, but it's like, yo, you might have killed him. I don't know. But yeah. What else is there? Um, I still enjoy as much the relationship with MJ and Peter in this movie. I really like it. Um, Second time liked it even more matter of fact, because you know what's going on, at the end, and yeah, so seeing all those interactions before it happens, it was really nice. Um, so I'm guessing that in the future we're obviously gonna have the plot point with Venom. It's funny how they brought Eddie in, and just like that. They brought Eddie in, from the Venom thing, just to have that small drop. It's also, once again, this is also very convenient how Magic basically forgot one drop. It's like, I'm sure Magic is like sort of that thing that never misses, right? So it's like, okay. Um, but yeah, also I'm totally open to to convos, to comments and stuff, to talk about the movie, man. Like I said, I truly believe this is an experience, and yeah, hey, I can't wait for the next movies, because it looks like we're gonna have obviously an arc with maybe, because I'm not sure what they're gonna do. So it's like Peter gonna distance himself, as of right now, and do just Spider-Man things, or is he gonna try, as soon as possible, because he's gonna go into college, MIT. We saw that little book, and how to prepare like your entry exam, I think it was saying. So he's probably gonna try to go into MIT as well, to be with Ned and MJ, right? So the story, right, I think is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how he gets corrupted by Venom, because obviously we're going to have maybe another in-universe Eddie, have his own backstory, and then, have the symbiote obviously going to Tom. It's going to be very interesting. Also, we basically have the teaser trailer for Doctor Strange and into the multiverse, right? Multiverse of Madness. Also, is that Doctor Strange? The Doctor Strange? Hey, yo, that series came out a couple minutes. Is it the Doctor? Okay, what if spoilers? Okay, I'm still gonna say it in case I don't want to spoil people by accident. Okay, spoiler. Okay, is that Doctor Strange at the end, the one from the What If series? Is that him? Because I'm not sure. I think it'd be very interesting, to really put the emphasis that everything is connected if it was him. But I'm really not sure, except for the thing that he's maybe evil in what we're seeing. I can't really tell. There was maybe like some parallels with, when in episode 4, when he was trying to bring his wife back, right? You had the whole thing with like the city being destroyed and stuff. You had a similar shot in this, so I'm not sure if it's like a reference. So it would be very interesting if that was the case. Obviously, we're seeing Wanda, helping Doctor Strange. It was very interesting to see, how Wanda was like, "Oh, I expected you to come. I did terrible things in Westview. Because apparently there was a deleted scene with, Doctor Strange showing up in the finale of WandaVision. So it would have been very interesting to maybe like tie those two things immediately together. So yeah." Also, we've been getting a lot of like multiverse series and movies that like talk about the multiverse but don't really go in depth with them. Because like, oh, it's closed off, right? And so it's very interesting. Because yeah, we need Doctor Strange magic. So it's like we're talking so much about the multiverse, and yet we're not really seeing it in full effect. Sure, what if you're seeing different timelines and stuff, but we need, something more, of like, oh, well, it's going crazy, it's like, oh, well, they're really interrupting everything and stuff. Basically, multiverse of madness. So, I'm super excited for this. I mean, we have Sam Raimi. It's funny how it's like No Way Home and then Doctor Strange with Sam Raimi. What else is there? I just want to talk. At first I was going into like a spoiler review, but it basically turned into like a spoiler talk. And yeah, what else is there? Sorry, I'm doing this off the rip, so there's no like structural or whatever. I might try to do that for like next time. I think those type of things I might do like maybe a live stream if people want to talk and interact with me. I think it would work maybe a little bit better. But yeah. Um, oh, also May when she dies, I feel like the impact was very limited. Cause like it was like a super like 1 second shot of like the thing from Goblin, just hitting May. I think it would have been better if there was like a better impact, like hitting it, having that little thing where you actually see it really, like hitting her and not just like flying away like immediately. I think it would have been better. What else? Andrew, when he landed the first time, I really didn't see it because I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing it right. Andrew, when he lands with like MJ, it's like super weird. It's like, damn, you guys could have like done it a little bit better, because obviously that when the movie is gonna be like, out like for like a couple of months, you're gonna see those clips of the movie like on YouTube and stuff. So everyone's gonna be like, he landed a little bit weirdly, So I wish maybe they can change it, if they're gonna end up releasing on Disney Plus or if Netflix still has the rights. I can't remember, but yeah. What else is there to talk about? The villains, like I said, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, absolutely love them. Electra I really liked, except I think that out of the three is the one where it's like, oh, it's the most convenient. It's like, oh, even his appearance changed, he's just obviously hungry for power. I think we'd like more better discussions, because obviously you have the discussion as soon as those characters are healed. We're gonna call it like that. I think would have been better, because especially Sandman, it's like at first he's like helping Peter Parker, right, or Tom Holland. He's like, yeah, okay, that's weird, but I'm still gonna help you. I was like, okay, that's cool. It's like continuity. It's like, yeah, it's him. But then at the end, he's like fighting them out of nowhere. Especially when Tobey's Spider-Man is there. I think it would have been better if he fought, Tom in the beginning, because he was like, yeah, you're not my Spider-Man, I don't know if I can trust you. And then at the end, switch sides, with Doc Ock and be like, no, okay, I know him, I know I can trust him, he tried to help me, and stuff like that. I think it would have been better. But yeah, like I said, if you want to nitpick and, try to find flaws in a movie, you're always going to anyways. But as a fan, just seeing Andrew and Tobey reunited, just those two when they were like interacting and stuff, it was cool. I really liked it. Especially because I don't think we're gonna see them anymore, like at least for a long time. And yeah, I did kind of see that maybe Tom Holland was gonna get like a cameo for like the Spider-Verse movie, which could be really cool if they do go through with it. Maybe not for part 1, but apparently for like part 2, because they didn't get like an answer. I hope they do. That'd be cool. Yeah. What else is there? I saw someone like saying it'd be cool to see like Andrew seeing a Spider Gwen. Like think that would be pretty cool. It'd be super weird at the same time, but it's a concept that you would really like, because obviously he's the only one that his love story was with Gwen and not MJ, right? Also, with the fact that they healed all those characters, right? All those villains, we're gonna call them. So like, how does it affect their universes? Because the whole point of Tom's plan was like, okay, we're gonna heal you guys so that when you come back, you don't die, right? That's the whole thing. Now I want to see what happens. Like, how does it happen? It's like, so Goblin's gonna come back, but his son is gonna be dead. It's like, damn. I guess it works the best for like Sandman and Doc Ock. Well, no, because when he comes back, he's still gonna be a criminal. Or does the universe adapt to those changes done with those characters? But even if that's the case, doesn't the fact that Goblin is different change the fact that Doc Ock maybe would have never done that? See, that's the thing. I don't know. It gets a little tricky. Interesting. I think, yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you just have to accept it, I would have loved maybe a moment where like they all came back to their own universes, you would have actually seen like a couple of minutes of their universe. That would have been like so perfect. Maybe yeah, I think that would have been cool. And yeah, confirmation. There's just no other superheroes obviously in like their universe. It's like, oh, the Avengers. Oh, that's cool. What's that? That was pretty funny. So it's like, yeah, it's really just only them, right? We already knew that, but it's like maybe in a couple of years, or maybe just not in that area of the planet. There's like other superheroes. I guess not. Just them. Um, I don't know what to talk about. Maybe I'm missing some stuff because I obviously slept, had a huge headache for some reason when I came back home, and yeah, still have it. So might be missing out on some stuff to talk about, but yeah. Obviously pretty excited for what they're gonna do with Venom. Maybe they're gonna put an Eddie Brock, more descent. Also, the reference for Miles Morales, with Electro, talking about, oh, I thought you would be black, with what you're doing and the Queens, helping and stuff. And then obviously Andrew saying, maybe. And yeah, they're obviously teasing Miles. I believe Miles was already referenced in Homecoming. I think his uncle said something. I have a nephew or something, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's already been set up, a little bit more. Obviously, with this, way more. They're really setting up, a lot of new heroes, which is cool because obviously I'm guessing some of the actors are going to be tired of playing their heroes at some point, which makes me sad because I love them as their heroes, man. Also saw that recently, apparently Chris Hemsworth saying that a lot of people are being tired of him as being Thor. Ooh, I've never heard anyone complain about Thor. Never. Like, what? I hope he gets that idea out of his head, bro. He's a great Thor. Got the physique. Bro, his latest Thor. I actually liked Thor Ragnarok. I like it. And it's funny when with those movies, like those superheroes work better in like Avenger type of movie than on their solo movie. It's very interesting. What else is there, man? Trying to think real quick. I should have prepared maybe some notes, but I feel like it kind of ruins the idea of like talking off script too. So yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that Venom 3 will, because I've heard that like in maybe interviews and stuff, like Eddie Brock. I mean, damn, I'm forgetting the actor's name. He was like, yeah, it'd be cool if Venom had a thing with Spider-Man, right? I was like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be him with Tom Holland. But then maybe Tom Holland gets sent to his universe, or because we get maybe a in-universe of another Peter Parker for them. It's gonna be interesting. I hope we get a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey and a Amazing Spider-Man 3. I hope, please. I love them as Spider-Man. Come on. Also, I absolutely love Tom's performance. He's now people. I think a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, Tom is Spider-Man now too. Hopefully, I think he's earned it. Because he had consequences. People died on his watch and stuff, and he actually did a strong decision. For everyone to forget who he was and stuff. That's a Spider-Man move. He like, yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. That's what happened, right? Trying to think about something else. But no, I think that's about it. I mean, we're already at 30 minutes. Sure, you can like remove like 5 minutes with me like thinking about stuff, but yeah, I think 5 minutes pretty good, man. But what do you guys think about the movie? Like, did you watch it a second time? Maybe you started noticing maybe like the writing is a little different, or do you like it just as much as like the first viewing? Like I said, I absolutely still love the movie just as much. It's just that I'm starting to see maybe like the flaws into the writing that maybe some other people that don't like Spider-Man movie or just aren't fans, should I say, can see that we're not able to see because of our protection to that, because of how much we love those characters. Also, is it your favorite MCU movie? Because I feel like, because some people are saying, yeah, it's the best MCU movie and stuff. I think it's gonna be very different for people. Like, just a simple question: is Spider-Man your favorite superhero? If yes, then yes, No Way Home is probably gonna be your favorite movie from the MCU. Or like, is Iron Man still your favorite superhero? Then Endgame is probably gonna be your favorite MCU movie. I think depending on what you like, what you dislike, it's gonna have an effect, obviously, on the decision about that. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I think my battery is dying too. So yeah, if it dies, I don't get the footage. Period. So I'd rather not have that. So leave a like and a comment if you like the discussion, because I guess it's a semi-spoiler review slash talk, right? Don't know what I'm gonna title it. I'm guessing I'm gonna title it spoiler review slash talk. Yeah, probably something like that. So yeah, if you enjoyed, like in a comment. Obviously, this is a discussion. If you want to talk about the movie, let's talk about it in the comments. Obviously, be polite to other people and stuff. Hey, it's all about communication, guys. Okay. And yeah, if you wanna see more, if you like reaction videos, if you like gaming, be sure to subscribe, or have a look at my channel. If you do, find something, then subscribe. And yeah, leave a like and a comment. Take care. Hopefully you guys have absolutely enjoyed this video. Okay, maybe not as much as the movie, because that's impossible, but yeah, take care, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.